Good morning, everyone. I am going to jump right in and share with you the eighth spiritual discipline from the women's Bible study called Enjoying Jesus 12 Experiences to Draw You Closer. And that discipline is the practice of solitude. Last week in my devotional, the spiritual discipline that I shared was about silence, which happens to go hand in hand with solitude. And so once again, in this noisiest world that we live in, that is the noisiest ever in history, it robs us of the silence and the alone time that we need to be able to connect with God well, to quiet ourselves and be in a place separated from all of those things that distract us. In one of the video clips, one of the ladies said that our lives are full and lots of noise is constant. And in our culture, there is a lack of rest and a lack of pause, which makes solitude very difficult. We are all familiar with this. It's like being on and on the go all the time and not really knowing how to stop. But here are some of the things that the ladies and I have learned, not only to help us understand this practice, but also as we worked towards giving this practice a go. For many of us, solitude can either be awkward and cause anxiety so that we never want to do this, or we go to the point of isolating ourselves. Pushing through to discipline ourselves means a regular rhythm of time with God, to pray and listen for God's guidance, direction, and help, for issues of the heart, struggles, addressing sin, seeing how God sees you, and a whole lot more. Richard Foster was quoted in the study. He says, "Loneliness is inner emptiness. Solitude is inner fulfillment. Solitude is more a state of mind and heart than it is a place." This inner posture of our hearts to refocus, to reconnect, and enjoy time with the Father at any time, even to take a moment in the busyness of your day, or perhaps being able to take longer periods of time to be physically alone with God. They are both inwardly withdrawing to have your needs met by God. It is also a reminder that you are never alone because you have instant access to your Father. If it wasn't for Jesus dying on the cross, as we remembered and celebrated this past Easter weekend, we would never have access to the Father, nor have his presence in our lives. From my own experience, once you've experienced this kind of solitude, you will long for it deep in your soul. And guess what? You will want to do it. The key to our connection with the Lord lies in understanding our identity in Christ. I'll read you this piece directly from the study. When we base our identity in who we are in Christ, we know our personal value comes from who God says we are and Christ's work on our behalf. That relieves a lot of pressure. In the peace that comes from that assurance, we can relax and draw close to him. There, in our solitude, the Lord is able to refocus our hearts, bringing us the freedom and joy that the abundant life in Jesus promises in John 10:10. In practicing solitude, it boils down to you and God alone, without all of what defines you in this world. It's a time to assess where you're finding your worth, especially if you're grabbing your phone as soon as a notification comes in, or maybe you feel like you're just simply wasting your time. It really is a time to acknowledge that while the world's first priority is popularity, accomplishments, or visible productivity, God has called us to better and deeper things. He has called us to Himself. Luke 5, verse 16 says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." Jesus modeled solitude for us, and He knew He needed to stay connected to His Father. And if He knew, then how much more do we need to do the same thing? Being alone in His amazing creation, on a walk or a hike, is one way to draw closer to God and focus on our relationship with Him and be present in the moment with Him, to be in awe of Him, to contemplate God and who He is, and to remember what He has done in your life. The other points that I've mentioned also come very much into play here. As you can see, overall, time spent in solitude benefits the individual, but it's also a benefit, a very vital benefit, to the community of believers around you. With the natural overflow of blessing, it will impact others, and also happens in sharing what God is doing and sharing in your freedom and joy. They get that opportunity to do that. A very simple statement about disciplines is that we have to remind ourselves that it starts as a discipline until it becomes a habit, until it's a rhythm, until it's your life. And that's what one of the ladies in a video clip, she put it very, very simply like that, and it has struck all of us who have taken on this study. So in this process, though, be gracious to yourself. Start small and build up, but it begins with a decision to start. It will change your life, and it will be so worth it. So I hope this week that maybe you will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Take a moment, just put it into practice and give it a try. And just like I've encouraged you with all of the disciplines that I have brought to you through these devotionals, and I hope that you will see what a difference they can make in your relationship with your Father in heaven above. So on that note, have yourselves a great week, and we look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Take care. Bye for now.